The South China Sea is now the world's most critical naval chessboard. On November 7, 2025, two superpowers, the US and China, face off, each led by an aircraft carrier. This is no routine exercise, it's a high-stakes demonstration of national will and power. The US Navy has long guaranteed freedom of navigation here, but China's rapid rise has shifted the balance. Beijing now sees these waters as a core national interest, clashing with America's vision of a global commons. The presence of both carriers makes this rivalry tangible, transforming abstract strategy into real-world tension. Every maneuver is scrutinized by governments across the Indo-Pacific, as the region's stability hangs in the balance. The central question: can these powers manage their competition peacefully, or are they on a collision course? At the heart of the U.S. presence in the Asia-Pacific is the USS George Washington, a formidable Nimitz-class supercarrier. Towering above the waves, this massive vessel is a symbol of American naval strength and technological prowess, representing decades of innovation and military tradition. This floating airbase, home to over 5,000 sailors, aviators, and support staff, operates a fleet of advanced fighter jets and surveillance aircraft. Every day, its crew works around the clock, launching and recovering aircraft, conducting complex drills, and maintaining readiness for any contingency. The George Washington projects American power and influence across the region, serving as a mobile command center and a deterrent to potential adversaries. Its deployment sends a powerful message, signaling unwavering U.S. commitment to regional allies and upholding the principle of freedom of navigation in some of the world's busiest and most contested waters. The carrier leads a formidable strike group, including guided missile cruisers, destroyers, and a nuclear-powered submarine. Together they provide layered defense against air, surface, and subsurface threats, while also offering significant offensive reach, capable of launching precision strikes far from home shores. Routine operations in these waters challenge China's sweeping territorial claims and reinforce U.S. resolve to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. Each patrol, exercise, and flyover is a demonstration of American presence and intent. Yet, the environment is more dangerous than ever before. China's rapidly advancing arsenal of anti-ship missiles, including the infamous DF-21D carrier killer, poses a serious threat to U.S. vessels operating within range. These weapons are specifically designed to target and neutralize aircraft carriers, raising the stakes of every deployment. The George Washington's presence is a calculated risk, a reassurance to allies and partners, but also a potential flashpoint in an increasingly tense maritime environment. Every maneuver is watched closely by both friend and foe. The carrier embodies the U.S. strategic pivot to Asia, but now faces a Chinese military that has been specifically designed and equipped to keep such powerful ships at bay, using both conventional and unconventional tactics. The stakes are high, maintaining open sea lanes for global commerce, deterring aggression, and preventing miscalculation, all while navigating a perilous new era of great power competition and uncertainty. The carrier's mission remains clear: to protect American interests and uphold international law. But as the balance of power shifts and the waters grow more contested, the future of the USS George Washington, and the peace it helps preserve, remains anything but certain. China's answer to the world's great navies is the CNS Shandong, its first domestically built aircraft carrier, a powerful symbol of national ambition, technological progress, and growing pride. The Shandong is more than just a warship, it represents a new era for China's military, signaling the country's determination to project power far beyond its shores. The launch of the Shandong marks a historic shift for China, as it transitions from a traditional land power to a formidable maritime force. For decades, the United States Navy has dominated the world's oceans, but the Shandong challenges that status quo, sending a clear message that China intends to compete on the global stage. Its regular patrols in the South China Sea are designed to normalize Chinese carrier operations in these contested waters, gradually shifting the regional balance of power. Each deployment asserts China's claims and demonstrates its growing naval reach, making the Shandong a key player in the ongoing struggle for influence in Asia. While the Shandong is smaller and less technologically advanced than its American counterparts, it serves as a vital learning platform for the Chinese Navy. Every mission, exercise, and training operation helps China's sailors and aviators master the complex art of carrier operations, building experience that will shape future generations. The carrier launches J-15 fighters using a ski jump ramp, which limits their range and payload compared to U.S. catapult systems. However, the experience gained from these operations is invaluable, allowing China to refine its tactics, test new technologies, and prepare for more advanced carriers in the future. The Shandong's deployment alongside the USS George Washington and other U.S. carriers creates a volatile new dynamic in the region. The presence of two rival carrier groups in close proximity raises the stakes, increasing the risk of miscalculation or confrontation at sea. China now routinely shadows U.S. forces, gathering intelligence and honing counter-carrier tactics. These cat-and-mouse maneuvers are sharpening the skills of Chinese crews and providing valuable insights into American operations, further narrowing the gap between the two navies. Domestically, the Shandong is a propaganda triumph, celebrated in state media as proof of China's rise. Regionally, its presence forces neighboring countries to rethink their security strategies, sparking debates among analysts and policymakers about how to respond to China's growing power. The message is unmistakable. China is here to stay as a major maritime power, and the era of uncontested U.S. naval supremacy in Asia is coming to an end. The Shandong's silhouette on the horizon is a constant reminder of this new reality. The Shandong is just the beginning. In Chinese shipyards, even larger and more advanced carriers are already under construction, promising to further enhance China's naval capabilities and extend its reach across the world's oceans. The South China Sea has now become a true two-carrier theater, with both Chinese and American fleets operating in contested waters. This new balance brings opportunity, but also significant risk, as the world watches to see how these rival powers will navigate the challenges ahead. The South China Sea is a vital maritime crossroads, linking the Indian and Pacific Oceans. 1/3 of global shipping, trillions in trade, passes through these waters, including crucial energy supplies. Control here means economic and strategic leverage on a global scale. Beneath the sea lie untapped oil, gas, and rich fishing grounds, resources that fuel competition and conflict. China's artificial islands, bristling with runways and missiles, create a great wall of sand that shifts the military balance. For the U.S. and allies, these fortified outposts threaten to turn defensive barriers into cages, trapping forces in a crisis. Freedom of navigation operations are not just legal gestures, they're essential to keep the sea open and contested. The struggle for the South China Sea is about resources, security, and the future of regional order. At the heart of the conflict are tangled sovereignty claims. China's 9-dash line covers nearly the entire sea, clashing with the EEZs of Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan. International law, via UNCLOS, supports the smaller states, but China rejects these rulings. In 2016, a tribunal sided with the Philippines, dismissing China's historic claims, but Beijing ignored the verdict. The result: law on one side, power on the other. China continues to build and militarize islands, harassing neighbors' vessels. The U.S. and allies cite the tribunal, but without enforcement, the dispute plays out at sea, not in court. The legal battle is ongoing, but the real contest is on the water. The South China Sea has become the epicenter of a classic Thucydides trap, where a rising China is now openly challenging the long-standing dominance of the United States. This region, rich in resources and vital shipping lanes, is more than just a flashpoint. It's a stage for a high-stakes power struggle that could define the 21st century. For Washington, regular carrier patrols are about upholding a rules-based international order and ensuring freedom of navigation. But for Beijing, these same patrols are seen as direct challenges to what it views as its rightful place and historic claims in the region, fueling a sense of encirclement and national pride. This intensifying rivalry is forcing regional allies, like Japan, Australia, and the Philippines, to strengthen their security ties with the U.S., even as their economies remain deeply intertwined with China's booming trade and investment. The result is a delicate balancing act that strains old alliances, tests new partnerships, and makes diplomatic negotiations increasingly complex and fraught with tension. On the global stage, the deepening US-China competition is paralyzing much-needed cooperation on urgent issues like climate change, pandemic response, and economic stability, leaving critical challenges unresolved. International institutions, from the United Nations to the World Health Organization, are increasingly gridlocked, as both superpowers block or veto each other's initiatives, stalling progress on global governance. The standoff in the South China Sea is far more than a regional dispute. It's a visible symptom of a much deeper systemic rivalry that is actively reshaping the global order and influencing politics far beyond Asia. The stakes are enormous, not just about who controls these strategic waters, but about the very future of the international system, the rules that govern it, and the balance of power for decades to come. Around the world, people are watching anxiously as tensions rise, knowing that the risks of miscalculation, escalation, or even open conflict are growing with each passing day. The outcome of this contest will echo far beyond Asia, shaping the future of global stability, prosperity, and peace for generations to come. For Southeast Asian nations, the US-China rivalry is a source of deep anxiety. Most ASEAN states try to hedge, seeking US security while benefiting from Chinese trade. But China's assertiveness, especially against Vietnam and the Philippines, is pushing some closer to Washington. Others, like Cambodia and Laos, align with Beijing, deepening divisions within ASEAN. China exploits these splits, weakening ASEAN's collective voice. The region wants balance, not domination by any one power. US naval presence is welcomed as a counterweight, but there's fear that confrontation could spark conflict. Southeast Asia's fate is increasingly shaped by decisions in Washington and Beijing. The carrier standoff is a dangerous reminder of their vulnerability, their hope, a multipolar region where no single power dictates the rules. The carrier face-off is just the surface of a deeper technological arms race. Both sides are investing in unmanned systems, AI, hypersonic weapons, and cyber warfare. China's carrier killer missiles aim to keep US ships at bay. The US responds with new tactics and distributed operations. Submarine warfare is intensifying, with both navies expanding their fleets and undersea networks. The South China Sea's complex underwater terrain makes this a silent, high-stakes contest. Information dominance, via satellites and cyber, may decide the next conflict. Disrupting communications or blinding sensors could cripple a carrier group before the first missile is fired. The future of naval warfare is as much about bytes and bots as bombs and battleships. The arms race is accelerating, making the region more unpredictable. The first shots in a future conflict may come from a keyboard, not a cannon. As the carriers maneuver in tense waters, the world wonders de-escalation or disaster. Diplomacy could prevail. Existing hotlines and agreements might prevent miscalculation. More likely is a prolonged, uneasy standoff, cat-and-mouse games, close calls, but no open war. The real danger is accidental escalation, a collision or misread signal spiraling out of control. National pride and military protocols could turn a minor incident into a major crisis. The path forward depends on choices in Washington and Beijing, and on strategic empathy. A binding code of conduct could help, but for now, the focus is on managing the standoff. The carrier dance continues, and leaders must ensure it remains a dance, not a duel. The world holds its breath, hoping for peace in these contested waters.